Hey, everybody. Hey, Tony, how are you?
I'm great, Dr. Josh. How is it going on this lovely Tuesday?
It's going great, man. We're just having a great start to the day. I don't know about up there in Jersey, but it's rainy down here in Georgia, man.
You know what? It is kind of raining. It's been raining nonstop, pretty much. We had a nice day Saturday. It was beautiful. But other than that, it's been like we're living in Seattle. You don't even know what to say to that.
I don't even know what to say about that. I was waiting for the coffee plug to come in and for you to be like Seattle and the coffee that you're brewing.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to do, and I decided to hold back on it, but I'm glad. But yeah, because you asked, today we're doing an Ethiopian blend from Rook Coffee. I think I did that last week. Last week we made it in a V60 though. Today what we did was we made it in a Chemex here. So we did 30.3 grams of bean to 510 grams of water. So we're pretty pumped about this coffee today. It's gonna be pretty good. Was talking to some of our practice members from Washington earlier. They're transplants from Washington in the military. They're here temporarily. And I was like, how you guys loving the weather here? Like, we love it. It feels just like home, raining every day. But sometimes, because you asked there, Dr. Josh, because you want to jump into it, the weather can kind of get you down sometimes, right? Like, there's a lot of things in this universe that try to beat you down.
Man, I hear about it all the time. Whether it's the bad traffic that we have down here in Georgia or it's going to be the rain today, people are going to tell me about how they're stressed out. And that's what we wanted to really bring to the table today about this dirty little 5-letter word, stress.
I love the way we brought that around. That was beautiful.
By accident. Yeah, so I actually, I'm going to just go ahead and take the reins while you get your coffee going up there.
I'm good.
Man, stress, I can actually, first of all, I want to talk about some good stresses because we all think of stress as only being bad. One of the biggest examples that I can think of for stress is going to be, have you ever worked out to try to change your body?
If I look like I'm not dressed well or if I'm sweaty, it's true because I just came from yoga. I literally am next door. I'm here right now, post yoga. I'm glad the smell doesn't come through the camera because it's pretty intense.
That's a stress on the body. Another stress on the body is going to be people. Another stress on the body is going to be, anybody who's ever learned in school and they really had to spend a lot of time and stress to learn. That's actually changing the way the brain is made up of. Neurons are creating new connections, and that's a stress on the body. So there's a lot of good examples of stress. All right, but I want to dive into the common 5 ways of stress that it impacts the body in a negative way, and then what we're going to be able to do about it. Okay, Tony, are you ready?
I'm ready. I don't know the 5. I don't know if I know the 5, so I'm excited.
It's going to be 5. All right, and they're really important, so I'm actually going to ask you to repeat them after me as I go through them, okay?
Sure.
All right, so in no real particular order, here we go. So first is big trauma.
Okay.
Yeah, so repeat after me and just say big trauma.
Big trauma.
This is things like car accidents, slips and falls, things like that. So you can't prevent those. 2, football injuries. 2, we have repetitive trauma.
Repetitive trauma.
This is how we sit all day, hold our cell phones. Boy, that's going to keep us chiropractors in business forever, all this TechSnet going on. The 3rd way is chemical stress.
Say that again?
Chemical stress.
Chemical stress.
Yeah, this is things like what's in the food, water, air, and medication. So again, you can't prevent any of those things.
Wait, medication, Dr. Josh? I thought medication was a good thing. What's going on here? What do you mean?
Everything's a chemical. We're talking about chemical stress. So food, water, air, and medication, everything surrounding you is made up of chemical compounds. Watch some of our past videos about medications and what that does to the body. The 4th way that we get stressed in the body is emotional stress.
Oh, emotional stress, Dr. Josh.
Emotional stress. This is spouses, taxes, speeding tickets, deadlines, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop with those 4 before I get to the 5th because those 4 all have something really good in common, and it's that you can't prevent it. There's nothing that you can do to put yourself in a bubble to not have a big trauma, a repetitive trauma, a chemical stress, or an emotional stress. So forget about trying to prevent it and put yourself in a bubble. It's not going to happen. These stresses come into your life every single day. nonstop.
Boring, right? This is the stuff that makes life exciting, these stresses that we have to encounter.
Yep. Then the last. So I'm going to wrap it up with the fifth way that we get subluxated. Remember, Tony, you're repeating after me. It's the birthing process.
The birthing process.
Everybody's been born, babies.
I don't think I can avoid that one.
Spine. Mama's lower back and hips, they go through an awful lot of changes. This stuff has happened to everybody. And so the reason that we're bringing this up is because, we think of stress as this, singular thing that happens like, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm late, or taxes or bills and things like that. And that's real, but that's only 1 out of the 5. And you're never going to prevent these things. So what we need to be looking for is the appropriate change to help the body break the stress patterns causing the body to degenerate over time. And so that's what we're here to talk about. How do we get this stuff fixed?
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, like you said, Dr. Josh, I'm not going in a bubble, right? You can choose to not drive your car because every time you drive your car, it's risky, right? It's an emotional stress, especially if you're driving here in New Jersey. I don't know how it is down out by here in Georgia.
Don't know how it's down here. It's worse.
Driving here is a stressful process. Thinking of cars, right? A lot of people, unfortunately, actually, I was watching Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown, his New Jersey episode, which, by the way, phenomenal. If you guys ever get the chance to watch that. And he talks about how so many people just think about New Jersey because they get off, and you included, right, Dr. Josh? They get off at the Newark airport and they drive on the turnpike, and all there is refineries everywhere. Refineries and smog. And they don't realize that down here in Bruceland, and by Bruce I mean the boss, aka Bruce Springsteen, right? Down here in Bruceland, Asbury Park area down here, it's absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? You can keep you can think that's all New Jersey. Don't come bother me down here. But the thing is that they get from the airport to here, right? We got to go through some things like smog and like chemical stress, etc. We talked about emotional stress, a repetitive trauma, as well as sitting at a desk talking to you right now, answering the phone, texting, selfies, Snapchat, all that different stuff, right? And then I'm missing emotional stress. Well, everything, right? So we can't put ourselves in a bubble, but what we can do is allow ourselves to be better able to adapt. There's active things that we can do, I would say, like on our own, right, Dr. Josh, to help us be better able to cope and handle it. Things like, I think exercise, hugely important. Would you agree?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. What kinds of exercise do you think would be something that would be beneficial here?
The kind of exercise that you enjoy, so that you actually end up doing it.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, if you try to sit here and write a prescription for exercise and it's to run 5 miles a day, and you're talking to somebody who's never ran and they hate running, they're never going to do it. Come on, give me a break. You got to do the kind of exercise that you want to do.
No way. Yeah, absolutely. Now,
there's right ways to do things.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to keep talking over you and say that there's right ways to do things. Obviously, if you don't know where to start, find yourself a good personal trainer. That's not what we're going to be doing on these videos. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that you be consistent. 4 to 5 days a week, at least a half hour every time you go out. You got to get your heart rate up so high. There's a scientific way to make sure that you're doing these things correctly for the maximum health benefit, cardiovascular. Not only that, but it helps you sleep better. So all your hormones help you grow healthy again while you're sleeping. It just goes on and on. But you need to be able to at least do exercise. So you got to find stuff that you will continue to do.
Absolutely. There's a really good analogy I heard one day about how kids, they just run around all day. They're go all day. They don't have a care in the world. They don't have stress. And when it's time for them to go to sleep, right, it's game over. They're done. And it's so many of us, why were we like that when we were kids? And why are we not like that as adults? It's because we let all these other stresses come in the way, right? We don't exercise the way that we should. So we don't literally expend enough energy to be like that at the end of the day. And because we have 1,000 things in our mind, because we let all these other 5 areas get in the way, right? Now it affects us when we go to sleep, which is where we regenerate, which is where we do better, right? All right, so exercise out of the way. Boom, something else we can do on our own. I'd say big fan of things like meditation. Have you done any meditation, Dr. Josh?
I try. I don't have a great habit of that. I do have a couple apps in my phone where I try to let that guide me through, but to be honest with you, not going to be the expert in that area.
What apps have you used though? By the way, I only have one. I'm really not good at it either.
I think it's called Headspace.
Headspace. Love Headspace. Love Headspace.
I think that's a huge thing. I'm not even really sure if that's the name of the one that I've got, but I know I've heard of it.
That's the most popular one, I'd say. It's pretty good. There's all different types of areas. It's relatively inexpensive. They do have a free version, which I think is 10 days, which is awesome. For me, though, and I think you're kind of like me, I have a lot of difficulty like sitting still and focusing. So like I can get 6 minutes into a meditation, and then I'm just like, all right, what else do I have to do? And I was listening to a podcast with a super high achiever. I forget exactly what it was. It was a Tim Ferriss podcast, and he was talking about how he's very severe ADHD. And what he found was that active meditation, things like meditative yoga, meditative exercise, long distance running, stuff like that, was really beneficial for him to still be able to meditate, even though when he sat there, he just literally was unable to sit still. Now all this stuff, that's all really good, obviously. I love that stuff. It's not really the reason I wake up in the morning. And the reason I personally wake up in the morning is because there's one thing I consider it to be in terms of adapting to stress, the most important thing that any person can do, the number one thing. And unfortunately, it's also the one thing that you can't like do on your own. Unfortunately.
And you can't buy it on Amazon.
You can't yet. Or they're trying. I don't think it's going to happen.
Never going to happen.
And what do you think the number one thing is here, Dr. Josh?
I think it's chiropractic.
Chiropractic, Dr. Josh. I mean, like, well, what if I don't have a neck pain or back pain? What the heck does this have to do with stress here, Dr. Josh?
I just have to ask you a question back. Do you still brush your teeth every day even though you don't have a cavity?
Yeah, I think consistency is pretty important there, Dr. Josh. What do you think?
Yeah, the reason I say it like that is because we all know dental health is extremely vital. You got to be proactive. You got to clean those teeth every day, twice a day is what the dentists tell you. Chiropractic, we're really behind the 8 ball. There's not a lot of great education that's really hit mainstream, but guys, you got to get adjusted. You got to find the areas in your spine that's putting pressure, causing disturbances to the neurological function, causing adaptation issues, which leads to stress. Get it assessed and get it adjusted properly. In that way, the body can start to function better. Stress goes down, adaptation increases, overall human potential and functionality increases, and you're just going to walk around being a better human being.
You got me fired up here, and that's exactly right. There's this really great scene. As you know, we've kind of published research out of our office on things like how chiropractic affects ADHD and autism, and really when we're talking about like adapting to stress, that's number one. And I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna post the comments on our end. I'll give it to you so you can post it on your end as well. There's this scene from Man of Steel, which is the new Superman movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe once.
So anyway, scene, I thought, and Superman is fighting. What the heck is it? General Zod? I forget. I'm sorry, I forget what that might be from, like Adult Swim or something. But I forget what exactly the name of the villain is. But he's fighting this guy, and they came from another planet, right? They came from another planet, totally different atmosphere, different types of stimuli, etc. Right? And his helmet was actually what filtered out a lot of the different stimuli that are in Earth's atmosphere. And his helmet breaks, Dr. Josh, the villain here, his helmet breaks, and all of a sudden, his brain just gets overloaded with this stuff. It's like the sound of the birds calling, the sound of the air conditioning, the sound that your lights make, the sounds of the cars, the lights switch, like every little thing. Think of how many little things in our daily basis right now, if you were to literally just take a step back and really think about it, how many noises, sounds, lights, how much is going into your brain as your body processing and filtering out at each and every moment of the day? How many of each one of these different areas of stress is our body filtering out each and every moment of the day? And he has all these going up to his brain, and he freaks out because he can't handle it, he can't process it. He's got 1,000 different stimuli going on. And when we look at it, Dr. Josh, what happens in the presence of subluxation, which once again is those misalignments of the spine that put tension on the nervous system. I don't want to go too sciencey today. I already got a comic book reference, so I can't let people know that I'm this nerdy. But what happens is that there's this tension on these things called proprioceptors. And if you've ever taken like an exercise physiology class or anything like that, you know that those are actually the receptors in our joints, in every joint in the entire body, that sense position. You remember that from class, right?
Yep.
They sense position. Now, when we have these misalignments of the spine, our body knows that we're out of place, right? So a couple things are going to happen. Once these sensors are going to start bombarding the brain up with information saying, dude, I'm out of place, I'm out of place, I'm out of place, I'm out of place. Which is why if you've ever heard of somebody talk about like a left brain or a right brain imbalance with ADHD or autism and they see improvements with chiropractic, it's because the right side receptors are firing up to the left side of the brain and the left side receptors are firing up to the right side of the brain. We've got all this stuff going on, it just causes imbalance. Not only are we going to be overloading the brain with this information, Dr. Josh, but all the stimuli that we get on a daily basis, like I said, with General Zog or whatever had going on in his brain, we're going to be each be unable to filter those out. So we have this conversation with people who are suffering from autoimmune diseases, and we do their evaluation, right? You know, the one that looks like white is good, green is mild, blue is moderate, red is severe areas of nerve pressure. I don't think I have any around here, so I can't show. But we do this, and we see up here in the top of the neck just blown out with nerve interference, Dr. Josh. And I look at this, and I think, dude, no wonder you're tired all the time, man. No wonder you can't focus. Like, no wonder you have headaches, migraines, all these different issues. No wonder you have going this on. Because it's like, Dr. Josh, right now, each and I are having this conversation, and Ashley, right, we're trying to talk, and Ashley comes up in your ear, and the whole time, she's just screaming in your ear, Dr. Josh. She's just screaming in your ear. It's going to obviously be difficult to pay attention, of course. And if that happened 24/7, oh my goodness, yes, you're experiencing health issues there, Dr. Josh. And it's like all we do is correct the interference there via pinpoint specific chiropractic adjustments to allow all these messages to be better processed by the brain to allow each and every individual, symptom or not, pain or not, to be able to live their life at 100% and best adapt to these 5 areas of stress, which, if you want to repeat after me, Dr. Josh, are number 1, big trauma.
Big trauma.
Number 2, repetitive trauma.
Repetitive trauma.
Number 3, chemical stress.
Chemical stress.
Number 4, emotional stress.
Emotional stress.
Number 5, the birthing process.
Birth.
And when we look at it, I mean, all research, not even chiropractic research, just medical research, points to the fact that when we're overloaded with stress, because of the neurons that are up here in the top of the neck, it causes things like inflammation, it causes things like autoimmune issues, it causes headaches, migraines, blah, 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 all of this. Everybody knows in science that interference or irritation to the top of the neck is going to cause these things. Of course, they have a different approach, right? They want to use nerve blocks, they want to use stimulators, they want to use this, they want to use that, and they want to use everything but delivering pinpoint specific adjustments to correct it. And that's what I got to say about that, Dr. Josh.
Right. That's right. Because what we're looking for is we're looking for the cause, not simply interested in covering up the symptoms. I mean, we've been chasing that as a medical profession for too many decades, and look at where we're at, you know.
Has it worked?
Well,
on individual case-by-case basis.
Well,
put the Band-Aid on.
Look at it globally. I mean, your answer's all around you. I mean, just turn on the TV every night. You see one medication being advertised with 47 symptoms listed out. And then the very next commercial after that is another medication for one of the symptoms that was just caused for the first. And so the problem is that we're chasing it wrong. We're not looking for the cause as a society. We're just chasing symptoms. But, you know, you got me so fired up. I don't even know. I mean, did we even get to the research article that we were going to post along with this about the stress in the body and how inflammation and immunity are all connected to the nerves?
Yeah, I just mentioned it. But
yeah. Well, you just mentioned it on the piggyback of General Zog or whoever that was.
I know, you were really enthralled with that.
You really lost me on that. But
you can post the article, dude. I'm posting the YouTube video of what just happened.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. But, you know, man, I'm fired up. I know that this is something that we get the privilege of working with people every single day on helping their body just adapt better. And, you know, the question's always like, can you help? And I love being able to give a response. And my response is like, I don't know. Let's do an assessment. Let's see where the body's breaking down. How long have we been in a cycle of growing our body more sick instead of healthy? We're going to see on the first visit for somebody. So, yeah.
Love it.
That's what we do.
Love it. I love you.
I love you too, man. Did you see that you got a comment on your page from
Dr. Jordan Cooper, who said, Truth. Love this guy. This guy knows what's up.
Awesome guy down there in
Also, they have
Jacksonville, Florida.
They have great coffee down in Jacksonville, Florida. There's a place called Maple Street Biscuit. And oh my gosh, I hope I changed some lives down here. Dr. Jordan knows all about it. He brought me some coffee from there at one of the conferences. But when they roast it, Dr. Josh, they roast their coffee with maple syrup. And
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So you get used to the taste like pretty quickly. We don't really taste the maple syrup anymore. Kind of like medication, but I mean, that's a whole other conversation, right? But I used to show up and be like, oh, I don't really take maple syrupy. I guess the flavor like wears off if it like kind of gets old. And I would have people come up to me and be like, did you have pancakes for breakfast this morning? No, I didn't have pancakes. I had coffee. It was delicious. It had maple syrup.
Lots and lots of coffee. Nobody would ever be able to know that you drink coffee.
Can I tell you the most amazing thing here, Dr. Josh? Would you like to know how much coffee I've had today?
Please do, yeah.
1/4 of a cup. 1/4. That's a fourth.
Wow.
I was on this call.
I'd be convinced that you had already had several.
It was on this call. You watched me pour the cup and drink the 1/4 cup while we were on the call. And the reason I bring that up there is, yeah, I mean, we're silly. I'm silly. I'm a silly guy, right? Like my team, super positive. People always say, like, you guys take happy pills? Do you guys get that all the time? Questions about happy pills? Yeah. And it's just like, I feel so bad that not everyone gets to do this. I feel so bad. I mean, they can, they don't, but I feel so bad. Because the thing is that, oh my gosh, like, if we show up every day, and yes, there's people with symptoms. Like, yes, that's true. People come in with symptoms all the time, and we have to hear people be hurt or upset or complain, and like we cry with people, we hug people, we love people, right? That's awesome. But like the overwhelming majority of people who come to our office on a regular basis are just coming simply because they just want to be as healthy as possible. You know, like, and we're fixing problems. We're not throwing a Band-Aid on it. We're correcting the cause of the issue. I couldn't imagine waking up and doing anything else. Of course I'm happy, right?
I feel the exact same way, man. I reflect a lot with either team and some practice members, a lot of the time, and I don't even feel like I work. So you want to talk about removing like one of those big stressors of life. I mean, we're privileged, to be able to do what we do, where I honestly don't feel like I go to work. I just get here and do what I do, and it's awesome.
Dude, I can't believe it. I have a girl, we just came into the office, it's just because we went short, because I went on a rant, there's nothing else to say. I have a girl that just came into the office yesterday. I mean, we're probably, it's pretty close. So she's 13. School told her she had like a mild scoliosis, so she came into the office, but it's there, we see what's going on. And this girl literally had to, like, asking questions, stuff like that, literally had to quit sports because of debilitating back pain. 13 years old. Can you believe that? Like 13, and you have to not do things because of your health?
That's crazy. You know what? You bring that up, and we totally didn't plan on sharing these stories back and forth at all. But just last night, I had she's probably 17. She started here a year ago with terrible knee pain that they were at their orthopedic all the time. They were talking about physical therapy. She's a softball player and hoping to go to college on softball, and she just couldn't play. And this was a year ago. And we did an annual health review last night. Pain's been gone forever. She's still rocking and rolling. She's able to play softball even so much better. She's actually got a scholarship. So you want to talk about like really changing the course of somebody's life, Your new start, my girl that's coming through for her second year just of maintenance at this point, like staying healthy because it's an active lifestyle. Like, who wouldn't do that?
I don't get it, man. I how blessed we are to have found this, right? I mean, or like we can say if we found it found us, whatever. Like I definitely went to chiropractic school not actually knowing what neurologically based chiropractic was, not knowing about this, not knowing about torque release technique. And I had no idea. And luckily I met people like you who allowed me to discover that, see what this is truly about. But like, it's just to be able to come here and serve people like that who I think they just deserve more. They just deserve more for their life. That's very lucky, very blessed to do that.
That's awesome. And
Now that I got my Sappy jersey on, what do you I cry on?
Sappy jersey. That is a great place to leave it for the day. Wrapping it up with some Sappy jersey.
Love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too. All of you out there in Facebook, man, we appreciate you guys. If you ever have questions, hit us up individually, ask a question. It doesn't matter if we can help you here, if we can put you in touch with somebody, just ask, get your life back. Chiropractic care. Do it.
Yep. Sweet. See you later.